They're everywhere these days, signs telling us to recycle. But just what happens when you toss your plastic bottle into the blue bin? We're paying a visit to this recycling center to find out. It's a noisy place, but we're not complaining. This is Peninsula Plastic Recycling Center in Turlock, California. Here, workers take our tossed out plastic bottles, break them down, and turn them into something that can be reused.
We'll bring in about 100 million pounds of bales from the recycling stream, and then we'll convert out about 75 million of that back into the manufacturers that'll use PET again.
Tom Sponder runs this place, and he's just the guy to answer our next question. What exactly is PET?
PET is the polymer that's most commonly used in soda bottles, water bottles, hinged trays. When you go and buy fruits and vegetables in the stores that are in hinged trays, that's PET. So most likely, it's going to be a material that's clear.
The process all starts with bottles brought in from recycling centers.
And then we take those bottles, those bales, and convert them into usable product that gets resold to people that make more bottles and more PET products.
The first step is to sort through it all, and that's no small task.
What we're doing here is we're beginning to loosen up the bottles in the bales. Forklift driver will lift up that bale, drop it down, and begin the process of separation.
Once sorting is done, it gets down to the nitty-gritty.
Those loose bottles then are conveyed up through an incline conveyor past a magnet that'll pull out as much of the ferrous metal or the magnetic metal as possible.
The cans that get pulled out are sent to companies that recycle aluminum.
We then run through a machine that does a pre-wash.
It's important to get the plastic bottles squeaky clean. They can't have residue like dirt or sugars from juice or soda.
We also heat up the bottles at that point, so the bottles start to shrink within this pre-wash system using steam, and labels start to come off and the caps start to come off. What you see behind me is a machine that takes off the labels on the bottles. At this point in our line, 99% of the labels are removed.
Then the bottles are inspected by both man and machine. Workers keep a watchful eye over everything because they only want the clear stuff at the end of this line.
We can sell green separately, the green being used for green soda bottles.
Once it's all sorted, the bottles get ground up and sent for a final wash. Then you get these. Way too many flakes to count. At the end of the line, all those flakes come out here and get bagged for the next leg of their journey to a new life. And they produce a lot of them. About 75% of what they send out to manufacturers are these bags of flakes. But there is another step.
In this form, today we're running green. This flake cannot be used for direct food contact.
To do that, the flakes need to go into a pelletizer, which converts the flakes into pellets. Then, the pellets go through another process.
We'll run it through a machine called a solid stator and changes the molecular structure of the recycled material pellet into a form that can be used for FDA applications such as water bottles and soda bottles.
These bags of plastic flakes and pellets are the building blocks for new recycled plastic products, and more than just soda bottles. These days, recycled PET also goes into fibers for carpet and even clothing. This sounds great, right? There is, however, one big problem.
The problem in the United States, and especially here in California, is recycling rates are so low. Our issue is that we struggle getting feedstock. There isn't enough of it out there. We can recycle more if we had more people recycling.
Instead, a lot of our plastic waste ends up here, polluting the environment in a landfill. Or here in the ocean, where it's broken down by the sun, putting marine life at risk because creatures of the sea mistake plastic pellets for food. The solution? Simple.
Recycle, recycle, recycle.
The EPA estimates it takes 2/3 less energy to manufacture products made out of recyclable plastic. Something to consider the next time you see a blue bin. So toss your plastic bottle inside, where it'll be whisked off to make something brand new.